Shri Harim Paramanandam Upadeshtaramishwaram Vyapakam Sarvalokanam Karanam Tam Namamyaham. So we are studying this text, Aparokshanubhuti, and we are actually towards the end, almost at the climax of the text. The author Shankaracharya has prescribed meditation. And this meditation which he prescribes has 15 practices. 15 practices. We read in the verses 100 and 102 and 103 the practices themselves, the list. I'll give you the list once more. You will notice that all the practices are taken from Hatha Yoga. The names are from Hatha Yoga, from Patanjali Yoga, the yoga of meditation, and Hatha Yoga. So from different practices of yoga, these names have been taken. But Shankaracharya gives each of these practices a twist, a Vedantic interpretation, a non-dualistic interpretation. So what's going to happen now is, we will take up each of these 15 practices and try to understand them first in their original yogic meaning, one. And second, in the higher interpretation given by Shankaracharya from a non-dualistic point of view. Now remember, sometimes Shankaracharya can seem sarcastic about the basic yogic meaning of the term. But that does not mean he's making fun of that. There is great wisdom in those practices. Those practices are foundational, they are basic. And often we shall see in our rush for the more glamorous, cool kind of non-dualistic practice, we'll see really what we need is more the basic yogic practices. So we must know both. I'll give you the names of the 15 practices and then we will take them up one by one. We've already read these, verses 102 and 3. I'll give you the term and the original meaning in yoga. What it means in Vedanta, we will see later on. Yama, the moral restraints. In religious life, you have do's and don'ts. So these are the don'ts. Neama, second. The imperatives, the moral do's, what you have to practice. So basically, Yama and Niyama comprise morality in the Ashtanga Yoga system of Patanjali. Tyaga, renunciation. Maunam, silence. Desha, auspicious place. Kala, auspicious time. Asanam, sitting. Mula bandha. Mula bandha is a kind of lock. These are various kinds of locks, L-O-C-K, used by those who practice Hatha Yoga, they know. There are various kinds of locks which are used to increase the efficacy of the asanas. So Mula bandha. Deha samyam, posture of the body. Drik sthiti, stabilizing the vision. The eyes, focusing the eyes. Prana sangyamanam, pranayama, basically control of the breath. Pratyahara, withdrawal of the senses from the world. Dharana, focus. Dhyanam, meditation. And 15, samadhi, the deepest absorption, which meditation culminates in that. These are the 15 in sequence. But the meanings which Shankaracharya will give are very different, we will see. So for a comprehensive understanding, we shall see the original yogic meaning and the non-dualistic interpretation or the insight. All the practices that Shankaracharya will give can be termed in this way, non-dualistic insight meditation. We shall see how to do that. Of the 15 practices, you will see 8 of the terms are directly taken from the Ashtanga Yoga of Patanjali. Yama, Niyama, Asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana and samadhi. So 8 terms are directly taken from the Patanjali Yoga Sutras. See, when you want to practice meditation, you have to go to the best source. And the best source is Patanjali Yoga. They are specialists in meditation. So 8 terms are taken from them. What Shankaracharya will do with those terms will leave the yogis distinctly unamused, but we shall see. And then 7 terms Shankaracharya adds to those 8. Those terms are also yogic terms. They're taken from various Hatha Yoga practices. And so total 15 terms and 15 practices. First the yogic practice, then the Vedantic or non-dualistic practice. First the lower, the basic, and then the higher. Let's go on. Remember, all of these have to be done for a long period of time to stabilize the knowledge. Don't look confused as if, what knowledge is he talking about? What we have studied till now, the last 1 year. If that is what we are trying to stabilize, you're coming in at the end now. So the knowledge, Brahma Satyam Jagat Mithya Jiva Brahmeva Napara. Brahman, the absolute alone is real. The world is an appearance. An appearance of what? Of Brahman. What am I? I am Brahman. You are Brahman. So this knowledge of our own innate divine nature, this knowledge has to be stabilized. Clarity, stability, assimilation, that's the purpose of these practices. Now, let's start. The first practice, we were on verse 103 is over, so 104. First practice is Yama. Sarvam Brahmeti Vijnanad, Sarvam Brahmeti Vijnanad, Indriyagrama Sanyamaha, Indriyagrama Sanyamaha, Yamo Yamiti Samprokto, Yamo Yamiti Samprokto, Abhyasaniyo Muhurmuhu, Abhyasaniyo Muhurmuhu. Sarvam Brahmeti Vijnanad, by the clear understanding that everything is Brahman, restraint of the group of senses. This is called Yama, and this has to be practiced continuously, moment to moment. All right, let's take a step back from what Shankaracharya has said here. Go back to the basic meaning of the term Yama. This we find in Patanjali Yoga, the first step or the first limb of the 8-limbed yoga, the first step of the 8 steps of Patanjali Yoga. What does it mean there? 5 practices, restraints, the don'ts. Restraints for, these are the foundations of spiritual life. So if you want to be a yogi, a meditator, there are 5 practices one must do. Yama includes these 5. What are they? Ahimsa, non-violence. Non-violence. Satya, truth. Now remember, these not to be done means it's not that you have to not do ahimsa. You have to do ahimsa, not do violence. Non-violence is not committing violence. Truth is not telling falsities. So satyam, truth. Then brahmacharyam, sense control, basically here celibacy or avoiding sexual impropriety. So brahmacharya. Then aparigraha, non-acceptance of gifts. Aparigraha, we'll see. I can see eyebrows going up. How can you not accept gifts if you are in society? What will happen to, what do they call it? Black Friday or... Black Friday? Yes. So, then we will see. And then the last one is asteyam, non-stealing. So 5 practices. Ahimsa, Satya, Brahmacharya, Aparigraha, Asteya. What do they mean? First of all, non-violence. Non-violence in thought, word, and deed. Again, of course, appropriate to your position in society. Avoidance of violence in thought, word, and deed. If you are a monk, It's an absolute practice. If you are a soldier in society, then it has to be adjusted, moderated that way. But everybody can and should practice non-violence as far as possible. Thought, word, and deed. The Yoga Sutra says, in perfection in non-violence, when the yoga is perfected in non-violence, even animals who are violent towards each other, natural enemies, they will play peacefully in front of such a yogi. So the lamb and the lion play peacefully in front of the yogi who's established in non-violence. In fact, there are a lot of interesting work being done in positive psychology now. Steven Pinker and others are doing a lot of interesting work showing that you may not believe it, but actually we live in less violent times. In terms of what happened just day before yesterday, you may not believe it, but in the terms of history, of hundreds of years, of thousands of years, actually our time is less violent than ever before. Not only that, I was seeing a recent study, non-violent struggles versus violent struggles, for whatever end. Some kind of social reform or a freedom movement or whatever. It's the non-violent struggles, they have studied it. They have been more successful on the average than the violent struggles. It's an interesting study that I came across. And so on. So non-violence, ahimsa, again adjusted to your particular circumstance. But the intention must be always non-violent. I remember reading about this great martial artist, a karate expert, a Japanese teacher, who was really lethal. And one of his students writes that it was in those days when the mugging was pretty common in the streets of New York. So he said, I always wondered what would happen to the poor mugger who tried to mug my sensei, my teacher. And actually one day he got held up by some guy with a knife or something. Perfect for using his very advanced karate. And what did this teacher do? He quietly handed over the money and then let the man go. And when he was asked, why didn't you defend yourself? You know what the teacher said? He showed these hands, which could smash bricks and tiles and so on, wood. He said, how can I use these on a human being? So that is non-violence. From a position of strength, not from weakness. Non-violence requires strength. Non-violence. Vivekananda was once asked, what should the weak do when oppressed by the strong? And he said, why? Thrash the strong, of course. So non-violence, not from a position of weakness, from a position of strength. Then truth, satyam. Now here, what is mentioned here is, one should not tell falsities. What is being said, recommended here is not that you should go around telling all sorts of truths to all people all the time. You'll find yourself very unpopular very soon. But nobody has forced you to tell an untruth. So you're a businessman. You don't have to go around telling all your business secrets to everybody because it's the truth. No. But don't tell untruths. Honesty is fundamental. I have earlier told you the story of the yoga teacher whom this man approached and said, teach me meditation, Patanjali Yoga. And the yoga teacher said, well, all right, there are 8 practices, and the first one is you have to tell the truth, the yama, you have to tell the truth, and you have to have self-control. And this man said, yeah, I know all that. They taught us all that in kindergarten. Skip that part. Teach me how to sit, how to breathe, how to meditate, the cooler parts later on, the more glamorous parts. And his answer, the yoga teacher's answer, it works best in Hindi, I'll tell you and then translate. The teacher said, Aap Ashtanga Yoga sikhoge ya Viklang Yoga sikhoge? Are you going to learn 8-limbed yoga or the handicapped yoga, with -2 limbs? The first 2 limbs are moral practices. You want to leave out those moral practices and learn and get the other 6 limbs? Won't work. And the teacher said, आप black money पर आसन बिछा के ध्यान करोगे, ध्यान होगा in Hindi. You're going to have, black money is undeclared income, stashed away income. You're going to have your stash of, cash and you're going to put your meditation mat on top of that and sit and meditate. You think you can meditate? You cannot. Truth, honesty. It is said, Satyam bruyat, Priyam bruyat, Ma bruyat, Satyam apriyam. Tell the truth, tell it sweetly, and don't tell harsh truths. Even if you have to tell harsh truths, there is a way of telling a harsh truth. Somebody in Holy Mother, Ma Sharada, she told one of her disciples who was the habit of, I had a sharp tongue. Why do you speak like that, my child? When you're going to talk to a person who has a defect in the foot maybe, instead of saying, how did you become lame? We say, if you really must say something, how did your foot get that way? Something softer. There's a sweeter way of putting it. I mean, if you have to tell a harsh truth, that also can be put in a soft way, in a sweet way, in a non-hurting way. I like this. Mark Twain, he said, I have often seen people who claim to be fond of the brutal truth. Mark Twain says, well, people who claim to be fond of the brutal truth are more fond of brutality than the truth. Often they are more fond of the brutality than the truth itself. There is a saying, what should you say? Satyam hitam mitam bruyat abhisamvadi peshalam. It's a very nice saying in Sanskrit. Tell the truth. Speak that which is beneficial. Hitam means beneficial. Think about it. Is it beneficial? Tell that which is, and speak less. Mitam, limited. And abhisamvadi, that which is universal, not one point of view. That would be the end of all our political pundits and all the talk shows and all of people arguing for this point of view or that point of view and coming to blows. Well, as far as possible, let's say. And peshalam, sweet, gentle. The Hindi translation would be komal, very, very, very soft. One Swami recommended that you should think thrice before uttering words. Before saying something, think it through thrice. Is it true? Is it useful? How can I use the minimum possible words? Is it universal? Is it sweet? Well, even if not 3 times, at least once, one should run it through one's mind. So satyam, truth. Then brahmacharyam, avoiding sexual impropriety. Depending on whether one is committed to a vow of celibacy, a monk, or a householder. For different persons in different stations of life, the vow will be different. But still, brahmacharya. Swami Vivekananda said that the chaste brain is tremendously powerful. A lot of energy is wasted otherwise. So in spiritual life, power comes from sense control, from chastity. So brahmacharya has been recommended to whatever extent your position in life allows you. Brahmacharya. Then aparigraha, not accepting gifts. That might seem a strange one, but actually accepting gifts. Remember, we are going to meditate. So the mind has to be, it's going to be very refined and delicate. We have to talk about subtleties here. Accepting gifts opens you to obligations. You automatically feel the need to give back. You may not think so, but if you are in advertising, in sales, you know that it is so. One of the principles of sales is the reflex to give back. Reciprocation reflex. Anybody in sales, they know it. That's why a salesman will first come and say, they won't say, buy this. They'll come knock at your door and say, I want to give you a gift. It'll be something simple, small, not very expensive. The moment you accept the gift, the next step will be, not buy this. Can I speak to you about this product? And immediately you feel softened that you've accepted something. So what's the harm in listening to him? You don't normally take a gift and slam the door and thank you very much and goodbye. You are softened. So giving back. you are immediately under obligation. Your mind is affected. Further, Swami Vivekananda clearly mentions, it's understood in yoga, the evil tendencies of the giver's mind also enters our own minds. There's a story about Swami Premeshananda, who was a disciple of the Holy Mother, a very revered monk of our order. And one day a gentleman came and he wanted to give him a gift, a nice walking stick, because the Swami was frail and had ill health, a cane on which he could lean and walk. And the Swami said, "No, thank you, I don't need it." And this man said, Swami, he understood. So he said, "Swami, I don't want anything in return. I don't want anything in return. Just take it. I don't want anything at all. I'll be very happy you just take it and then do whatever you like." And the Swami took it and he said, "Whatever I like?" He said, "Yes. Let me break it now. I'm going to break it now." And he saw the shock on that man's face. You see, even if you say that I don't want anything in return, it's subtly in the mind, it's there. If I broke any random stick, you just think the Swami's gone crazy. But this is your stick, which you're giving it to me, the cane, and I'm going to break it in front of you. And obviously you're shocked. So there is a subtle expectation. There is this little attachment to the thing. It's mine, I'm giving it to you. You will treat it well. So, obligation, we get into obligation. And the last practice is asteya, non-stealing. Quite obviously, one should not accept, one should not take what does not belong to one, even without permission. Once somebody bought a couple of lemons, I think, from a place to Sri Ramakrishna. Right, to Sri Ramakrishna. And so that person used to give for Sri Ramakrishna. But in the meantime, the owner of that land had changed. So the trees belonged to somebody else. And Sri Ramakrishna couldn't take it, couldn't use it. He asked for it to be returned. Because it's not mine and it's not due to me. And this one can extend more subtly, you think, how much is mine really? If you look at the modern environment movement today, just because I'm rich, just because I can do it, is it really mine? Do I really have a right to these resources? There was this philosopher who thought about how much he should donate. And he developed a philosophy based on that, and he found that other than the bare subsistence that I have, I really have no right to even to the earnings that I'm getting, which I get from a job. I should give it away. And he used to actually give it away. There are such people. So these are the 5 basic practices, the moral restraints, the don'ts. Non-violence, truth, chastity, non-acceptance of gifts, and non-stealing. Not using or taking possession of something that does not belong to me. So these are the 5. Yes?
Quick question, Swamiji. It seems contradictory to say that we shouldn't give or accept gifts, but at the same time we should give money to charity and give away part of our possessions and not give.
Not accept gifts if you are a yogi. Okay. Right. And what I'm saying is non-stealing means not taking up resources which are not mine, which do not belong to me. A yogi would give away resources which even legitimately belong to him or her. That's the moral sense. The moral sense is legitimately it's due to me. I've earned it. It's my income after tax. But that person still gives it away. And there are many people who give large amounts of money away in charity, though it belongs to them. So, are they giving gifts? In fact, if you ask such a person, they wouldn't really think they're giving gifts. They don't feel a sense of ownership to it or entitlement to it. Unless it's yours, you don't feel you're giving it away. And second, remember, the practice is not accepting and giving gifts. Practice is not accepting gifts. It doesn't stop you from giving gifts. Now, in society, of course, you have to think about it. in society, when a lot of people are giving you gifts, when it's a practice, say it's a religious festival or some kind of, it's Christmas. You don't have to be a grouch to be a yogi. Make sure you give back more than you get. Some such thing, so that your mind is not affected by it. I leave it to each individual to think, but these are the basic practices. Now, what does Shankaracharya say here? He says something quite different. He says, everything is Brahman. With this insight, control the senses. This is Yama. What about truth and non-violence and chastity and non-acceptance of gifts? He says, no, the approach is quite different here. Do you remember the story of the princess of Kashi, which I have told you earlier? But it is absolutely relevant here. This is what is meant. Very quickly, it's a very cute story. It goes like this. There was a prince and a king and a queen and all of that, and there was a dramatic performance in their court where the drama, which was staged in the court of the king, one of the characters was supposed to be the princess of Kashi, princess of Benares. And they couldn't find, it was supposed to be a little girl, the princess was a little girl. They couldn't find a little girl to play the part, but the queen said, my son, the prince, is about that age, and you can dress him up as a princess. So as a cute princess, he was dressed up, and he played the part, and he looked so cute, the queen said, make a painting of this boy in that dress. So the court painter came and made a painting. It would be so much easier today. You just need your iPhone and you can take it. So court painter came and made a painting. Do come and sit. Come and sit. Yeah. Yeah. And years passed, 15 years down the line. One day the prince, who was grown up now, was rummaging around a storehouse. I'm cutting the story short. So, and then he found this picture and he saw that it's the picture of the princess of Kashi, and it was 15 years old, and he thought, this princess must be my age. And he fell in love with her. And he said, I want to marry this princess. She must be my queen. And then he moped and he wouldn't do all his princely things. And his mother and the father, the king and the queen, became sorely worried about him. But he was so shy he couldn't express what was in his heart. Finally, the wise old minister takes him aside and asks him, Prince, what ails you? You can tell me, you can confide in me. And the prince said, I am in love. And the minister said, that's very good. Who is she? Oh, she's the princess of Kashi. Oh, that's wonderful. Where did you meet her? Well, I didn't meet her, but I have seen her picture. Well, that's good. It's an old picture, actually. Where did you see this old picture? It's in our attic. And it was 15 years ago. She was a child at that time, but the date shows she must be my age now. Then the minister, something went off in his memory. And he thought, where did you see this picture? Can you take me to this picture? And the prince took him down into the cellars, into the storeroom, and showed him the picture. And the minister says, Prince, you need to sit down. This is no princess of Kashi. And then prince says, whoever she is, I'll marry her. This is not even a girl. It's you that thou art, tattvam asi. And it tells him the whole story of the dramatic performance which was staged 15 years ago and how he came to play the role of the princess of Kashi. Now, the moral of the story, the point of the story is, what happens to the prince's desire for the princess of Kashi? It goes away. Immediately. Effortlessly. Does he have to practice moral restraint and the yamas and all? No. It just goes away. Why does it go away? Because, first of all, he sees there is no such person as the princess of Kashi. And that princess of Kashi is none other than me. There is nothing there other than me. It's me in that form. That thou art, that is the teaching of Advaita. Whatever we are seeing and experiencing in the world is none other than you, existence, consciousness, bliss. With names and forms. So the senses run outwards to these things, considering them to be, this is nice, I want it. Or this is scary, I'm going to run away from it. Vivekananda said, things are dead in themselves. We breathe life into them, then we run towards them or we run away from them. They have no existence of their own. Your existence is lending existence and light to those things. Which things? Everything. From your favorite cookie, to your favorite phone, to your favorite person, all of them are princes of Kashi. They have no existence of their own. They are phantasms. Or, it's equally true to say, their only existence is you. You, not this person. Satchidananda Brahman. You as existence, consciousness, bliss. You alone appear in those forms, just as the prince. See that both are true. It is true that there is no princess of Kashi, and it is also true that the princess of Kashi is none other than this prince. It is true that this world is an appearance. It's not real. And it's equally true to say it's you. Both are the same. The world is an appearance, and you are none. The world is none other than your real nature, appearing in all these forms in front of you. So, with this thought, with this understanding, when you look upon the world, what will happen? Just like the prince's desire for the princess of Kashi, our desires, they melt away. You may think that's not so easy. It's not so easy, but you dwell on that and then you look upon the world with those eyes, with the eye of knowledge, you will find that which pulls you so much will no longer, it will pull you a little less. Knowing that I and that one are different, no, we are one and the same thing. Imagine when you wake up from a dream, when you wake up from the dream, the most delicious food there, the $1 million that you got by winning the lottery, and so on and so forth. None of them have any attraction for you any longer. You don't regret it. Oh, I wish I had slept a little longer, just wanted to finish that pizza. No. You just get up and say, oh well. You don't wake up and run to the bank to check whether the $1 million you got in the lottery have been deposited in your bank. You don't even for a moment feel attracted to that. What you see in a movie, what you see in a dream, you realize they have no reality. The movie that you see has no reality apart from the screen. Knowing that all of it to be the screen, your desire for that goes away. They are just pictures on a screen. Here, the world is just pictures on you. You are the screen. The existence, the consciousness which appears as this world. What appears as desirable things, also the same thing applies to that which repels us, that which scares us, that which makes you anxious. All of that is falsified. They are appearances. Imagine, I'll give you two examples. One is you see in a movie King Kong coming and smashing up, he smashed up the Empire State Building, I think. I saw this movie, one of the early King Kong movies long time ago. He was climbing the Empire State Building. So, all the damage caused to New York by King Kong. How much does that bother you? Doesn't you're more worried about the snow piling up on your porch and I have to get up and clean that, or it has to be cleaned, and that bothers you more than King Kong smashing up New York. Why? You say, Swami, that's fiction, that's a movie, and this is real. Exactly. So the worst of things, the greatest of damage, the most terrible havoc, all of that is reduced to nothingness. Just because of one reason, because it's not real. Though you experience that, you see it in a movie. Nowadays with, 3-dimensional movies and all, is more and more and more real. And yet, no matter how real they make it, it's not real for you because you know it's not real. That's what he is saying. Knowing that all of this is not real, or knowing that all of this is Brahman, me. Knowing that there is nothing out there more than what is here, then why should I go out? Why should my thoughts go out to things and people and places? Because there is nothing there more than what is here. Sarvam Brahmaiti Vijnanat. By knowing that everything is none other than Brahman, the senses are automatically controlled. In the Isha Upanishad, the first sentence of the Isha Upanishad, the first opening line, is a tremendous line. Ishavasyam idam sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat. Whatever you experience in this world, moving and immovable, whatever you experience, living and non-living in this world, pervaded by God. Pervaded by God means see God in it. Literally means cover it by God. How do you cover it by God? You discover, you uncover God. How do you uncover? You discover God in it. In everything that you experience in this world. That's the first sentence. I think it's Mahatma Gandhi who said, if all of Hinduism were to disappear tomorrow and only the first line of the Isha Upanishad remains, all of Hinduism would remain. But the second line is something interesting. The second line says, Tena tyaktena bhunjita. This knowledge protected by renunciation. Ma gridha kasya swidhanam. Do not, a very simple maxim, do not covet anyone's wealth. That means do not covet anything at all. And the commentator Shankaracharya, explaining this last quarter of the verse, of the mantra, do not covet anything, covet anybody's wealth. He says, who is there and whose wealth is there to be coveted? Meaning, there is no wealth. It's like the princess of Kashi. It's not there. See, there are these two ways of dealing with it. It's there, I'm going to be a yogi, and I'm going to shut my eyes to it. I'm not going to think about it. It's covetable. It's nice. I wish I could get some of that, but no, I will not. I will restrain myself. I will pull my mind back. That's the yogic approach. I'll come to you. And the Vedantic approach is, it's not there. It's I alone. I'm experiencing it. Just as the prince experienced the princess of Kashi. I'm experiencing it. But is it anything other than isness? Is there anything there other than my awareness? In my awareness, all of these are coming like movies playing on a screen. And hence, why should I covet it? What is there to covet? These are phantasm. It's like trying to covet something in a movie, which I saw in a movie. As silly as that. So there's a question. Yes, Bill.
In traditional Hinduism, people seem to ignore social problems, saying it's unreal. Vedanta teaches it's all unreal. Therefore, let me go to a cave and meditate. But Swami Vivekananda told us, no, we must serve the people who are suffering. And he certainly had the non-dual truth.
Yes. So the question here, if I understand Bill correctly, is there's a tendency to ignore social problems. Say it's unreal and then turn your face away from it and go and meditate in a cave. It's not a Vedantic attitude actually. It's a yogic attitude. Yes. I must cut myself away from the world. I must withdraw into the peace, inward peace, to the peace of the caves, peace of the mountains and forests, so that I can meditate on the self without being disturbed. Now that's one. It certainly has been interpreted that way. But no longer, thanks to Swami Vivekananda and many modern teachers of Hinduism, there is a very clear recognition of that the purely private spirituality is no spirituality at all. And the basis for that is indeed this newfound social activism and concern is none other than Vedanta. You said, how can that be so? That comes from the oneness. You see, when you say, I am one with everything, then the names and forms are false, true. But at the level of the body and mind, then if I am this body and mind, and I am one with everybody, then all bodies and minds are also me. If I work at all to put food in this mouth, medicine for this body, a shelter for this body, then I must equally work hard to put food and medicine and shelter for others and take care of others. If saying a harsh word wounds this mind, then I'm equally in everybody. I must be careful not to say a single harsh word to anybody, not to hurt anybody, and so on. So the same Advaitic principle can be used as a basis for social activism. In fact, there is this gentleman, I just forgot his name, who combines Eastern philosophy with social activism. In America, he has a foundation for that. It can be used, and it is being used, in fact, and not just Vivekananda, but many others, starting with, say, Mahatma Gandhi and so many others. So spirituality as a basis for social concern, certainly. Now here, however, the question is yama, control of the senses. Now you can have control of the senses in this way or that way. The Vedantic approach would be, if everything is really in here, then why do I go out there? One of the definitions, in fact, Jung, one of the definitions of libido, which I read, was every movement of the subject towards the object. What a Vedantic insight. Every movement of the subject towards the object. I am somehow limited, and hence I need this to complete me. That's natural. The child finds itself as a helpless little creature. I need food, otherwise I'll die. I need warmth. I need protection. I am weak and helpless. So a limited little subject moves out to the object for its own fulfillment. But as we realize that we are not the body, not the mind, we are this existence, consciousness, bliss appearing as the entire universe, what this book teaches us. When we begin to see that, then internally, psychologically, we are no longer so dependent on the object. We realize, what does Vedanta tell you? It tells you that you are not this little subject, this body-mind complex. Rather, you are that existence, consciousness, bliss, which appears as all subjects and all objects. All of this universe is an appear. All the objects and subjects are appearances in you. Vivekananda wrote in his poem, one only exists. It appears as nature, soul. One only exists. It appears as nature, soul. Soul, you. The knowing subject, the experiencing subject. Nature, all of what you experience. That means you are the one who appears as this person and this person's universe. From the Vedantic point of view, from Brahman, the perspective is Brahman's perspective, not this individual being's perspective. So, from that point of view, why should the subject move out to the object? Vivekananda said that these are two philosophies of life. One is, how much can we get? How much can I accumulate? How comfortable can I make my life? How can I enhance this existence of this personal little being? And it is, how little can I get on with? How little can I get on by? With the minimum of resources. And you'll be surprised. You will surprise yourself pleasantly. At first it might be difficult, but the more and more you practice, the more you see you hardly need anything. So why should I move out to the object? Is the question.
So when I have the perspective that I'm not the body and I'm not the mind, it's very easy to see that I, the Atman, has nothing to do with the objects of senses.
Yes.
But the body itself, which is not me, is by design attracted to all sorts of objects of pleasure.
Yes.
So how does this knowledge translate into the body's desires being cut off?
Yes. Now, there is a minimum level which you give to the body. Would you want the body to die? No, why should you? But would you want to pamper the body anymore? No, why should you? Why do we pamper the body? Why is everything accumulated for this particular, not all bodies? I work towards accumulating stuff for this body. I work towards accumulating relationships for name and fame and pleasure, everything for this particular body. Do you see the craziness of that? The moment it enjoys something, it's gone. All of these things come and go. You can't hold on to one of them. You can't hold on to a person or to a thing, to a pleasure, nothing. And then life goes away. This body itself, which you have slaved away for years and years to take care of and pamper, this will one day deteriorate and go, leaving you high and dry. Why did you spend life like this? Rather the other way around, that I am the awareness in which a body and a mind is appearing. It's an instrument, it's a vehicle. Whatever the vehicle requires fuel, yes. Vehicle requires maintenance, so it requires exercise, it requires medicine, it requires shelter, it requires some food, good. Beyond that, that's pampering. See, we have conditioned ourselves. In Hindi they say, aadat pad gayi hai. We have conditioned ourselves, we have made a habit, a set of bad habits for ourselves. Now it will take persistent effort in the other direction to pull ourselves out of it. What Shankaracharya says, the yogi and the Vedanti have this in common. It will take persistent effort, whether you take it as Yama, as the 5 practices, the effort to be non-violent, effort to be truthful, effort to be restraining the senses, and so on, or you take it from the Vedantic perspective, that all is Brahman, I need not. Provide the minimum necessity for the body, so that it doesn't perish or break down, that's all. You will be surprised at how little the body needs. I remember sitting in the Himalayas with this very senior monk, we are having a conversation, and 2 ladies who clearly they were very well-to-do from one of the bigger cities of India, I guess. They were wearing expensive clothes. They came and sat down near us, and they were asking this monk, who was far senior to me, they were asking this monk, Swami, how can you stay like this? I can't do without my morning cup of tea. So how can you stay in this terrible cold and this austere little hut? You have been staying here for 50, 60 years. And the Swami just gave a very simple answer. This is just practice. There's nothing very difficult about it. The human body and mind get used to it. Now, what would you want the body and mind to get used to? Comfort and luxury and softness, or austerity and simplicity? Austerity and simplicity. Because comfort and luxury and softness, there's no end to it. And it does not enhance your happiness in any way. A person living a simple, austere life is equally happy, or maybe happier than the person who is living in a, somebody pointed out to me, Swami, look at this building, it's on the east side, a particular address. Look at this building, there are 40 billionaires staying here. 40. So, this person who lives this simple, austere life is, I guarantee you, from a moment-to-moment basis, as happy as those persons. Moment to moment. Yeah. Yes.
In another hand, we can also get into the trap of doing too much of the other stuff, like too much austerity or too much. And it just comes to my mind when Buddha was doing the austerities and was offered all rice pudding.
Yes. Yes. So the question is, if I understand you correctly, that the other side is too much of austerity. As I said, the story of the Buddha. So that's why the Buddha said the middle path. What is the principle? He asked a disciple that the stringed instrument, the veena, if the strings are loose and you pluck it, what will happen? Will you produce music? No. Why? Because the strings are loose. If you tighten it and tighten it and tighten it, what will happen? It will snap. There's no more music. So music comes when the strings are tightened just so. Not too little, not too much. So he talked about the madhyama pantha, the middle path between too much austerity and too much softness. But the middle path of Buddha would seem pretty austere to us. If you actually read the Vinaya Pitaka and others, the Buddhist codes for the monks and nuns, they're really, really austere. So really the body and mind do not need all this comfort, nor all this entertainment. I have seen so many people who live the simplest of lives with great happiness, with great peace of mind and contentment. Okay. So, the practice of controlling the senses Eyes want to see something, ears want to hear that, tongue wants to taste this, the skin wants to touch things. You want to smell nice things. This moving out into the world, I want this, I want that. I want to hear praise. I want to have the most comfortable places and the best vacations and so on and so forth. Draw a line and say at one point, enough. Enough of this. No, you are not exchanging this for a vacuum. You are exchanging this for spiritual life, for stabilizing yourself in Brahman, for stabilizing this knowledge. Otherwise, it will not happen. The continuously engagement in pursuing pleasures in the world, then this knowledge will never be stabilized. The examples they used to give in yogis give is in doi pata in Bengali they say. That means when you have to have curd, you have to let it ferment for a while. You have to let it settle. You can't keep churning it. So in the same way, you must stay with this knowledge for some time. I am Brahman. Steady yourself in that. Use this knowledge itself to control the senses. Think about it this way. Imagine if you have a clear sense of, I am this existence consciousness bliss, and these desires are like little motes of dust floating in the beam of sunlight. And they come up, they float around, and they disappear. Now, this person who is established in that, who has got this clarity, would such a person want to tell lies? Wouldn't that person automatically be truthful, satyam? What do you think? Wouldn't such a person be automatically non-violent, who feels a oneness with everybody and everything? Wouldn't such a person automatically be non-violent? Wouldn't such a person have automatic self-control, self-restraint of the senses? Wouldn't such a person have nothing to do with gifts? Mentally would not accept it. Somebody put a costly shawl in front of Swami Brahmananda, who was meditating under a tree, I think in Vrindavan or Kashi, Vrindavan I think. And he sat and meditated, and then a thief came and noticed the Swami with this expensive shawl and quickly picked it up and ran away from there. Swami Brahmananda sat there and quietly looking at the whole scene. He never thought it was mine. He did not accept the gift internally. Would such a person accept gifts? No. There's nothing that I need really. And one of the things that holy persons, they are so self-sufficient. If you try to give them something, they will have to keep on thinking and thinking, what do I need really? They don't need anything. They are the ones who give. They don't want anything, let alone claiming that which does not belong to them. So all the 5 practices, they'll come naturally to a person who has got clarity about his or her oneness with this universe. They'll come naturally. All right. Now let's move on to the second practice. Oh, one practice, whole class. Sajatiya pravahascha Sajatiya pravahascha Vijatiya tiraskritihi Vijatiya tiraskritihi Niyamo hi paranando Niyamo hi paranando Niyamat kriyate budhehi Niyamat kriyate budhehi. A continuous flow of the vrittis, the thoughts in the mind, I am Brahman, I am Brahman. Continuously staying there. And carefully avoiding all other vrittis. I am this person and I want this, or I'm afraid of that. Avoid that. Cut those modifications down. Make a deliberate attempt to stay with this thought, with this understanding that I am Brahman. Such a thing is called Neama. And this is the highest bliss. It is practiced consistently by the wise. This is the meaning of the verse. Now, Niyama, let's go to the original meaning in Patanjali Yoga. The basic meaning. The basic yogic meaning is, again, 5 do's. We saw the don'ts earlier. Now the 5 do's. What are the do's in Patanjali Yoga? Shaucha, Santosha, Swadhyaya, I'll tell you. Swadhyaya, Tapaha, Ishvara pranidhanani. So the 5. Shaucha, purity, internal and external. We'll go through this quickly. Cleanliness is next to godliness. Yeah. So, internal and external cleanliness. Not just physical, clothes should be clean, body should be clean, mind also. Speech should be clean, mind should be clean. Even while taking a bath, traditionally Hindus would chant mantras, take the name of God in different ways. So it cleans the mind. Then there's a funny story about Hindus have this thing about taking a dip in the holy waters of the Ganges or the holy rivers at auspicious times. It cleanses your skins, your sin, not your skin maybe, because the water might be very dirty. Your sins. It cleanses your sins. Sri Ramakrishna used to tell a funny story about that. So the man goes, does it really work? Do your sins go away if you take a dip in the holy Ganges? Well, Sri Ramakrishna said, yes. When you take a dip in the Ganges, what happens? But we see that the person is not reformed. We see the same person again. Might be a little better than before, but this person is still the same, with the same old tendencies. But this person, Sri Ramakrishna says, he goes in there. As he goes into the Ganges, all the sins fly off. And they sit on the tree there. And as he takes a dip in the Ganges and he comes out purified, as he passes under the tree, they all drop down on him and take possession of him again. Meaning is, it's not just a dip in the Ganges, it has to be internal cleansing. So shaucha, purity, internal, external purity. Then the second one is santosha, contentment. Contentment with our lot. With whatever state we are in financially. You say, Swami, you look outraged. We are in New York, in Manhattan. You're saying we should be content financially? That'll be the end of Wall Street. Don't worry, there aren't going to be too many yogis, so Wall Street will take care of itself. But, so shouldn't we aim at bettering our financial status? You might or you might not. If you're going to be a yogi, remember, that's not your primary purpose. So, Sri Ramakrishna, even when his beloved Naren came and asked him, when he was suffering, his father had died, he didn't have a job, no way of supporting his widowed mother and his brothers and sisters. He came and asked Ramakrishna, please pray to the Divine Mother so that our condition improves. Even for his beloved Naren, Ramakrishna wouldn't ask God for such things. But finally, under pressure, he finally said, what did he say? Plain clothing and food. The simplest of clothes and food, they will not lack. He didn't say they're going to be millionaires. No. So, contentment with my lot. Yeah, if you're in terrible financial shape, of course you have to struggle to put your life back on track. But now I have a million, the next million, and the next billion. How far are you going to go? And life is going away so fast, just like that. It's the intelligent person who sees, who earns some money and says, okay, I know what earning money is. That's it. Enough for myself and those dependent on me. Finished. So contentment, financially, relationship-wise, health-wise, whatever. iPhone-wise, whatever. So all of that, whatever I have got, that's enough. Don't keep on multiplying this. Don't spend your time and energy in this. Contentment. As far as spiritual life is concerned, a divine discontent. I must see God in this life. Then the third one is swadhyaya, which means there can be different meanings. The original meaning is actually chanting of the Vedas. The traditional Hindus, they would chant the Vedas. That is swadhyaya or parayana, Veda parayana, repetition of the Vedic mantras, chanting of hymns. The second meaning could be study of scriptures. So that's a do, definitely a do. You must regularly study the scriptures. A third meaning of swadhyaya could be introspection. Literally swadhyaya means, swa means self, adhyaya means study. So self-study, study of the self if you mean that way. So introspection. One Swami told us, early in the morning when you get up, we were monastic novices. First thing you should think is, why am I here in this life? And the last thing you think about when you go to sleep is, What did I do towards my goal in today? One day has gone. I have come here with a purpose to realize God. What have I done towards that end today? That's also swadhyaya, introspection. Third practice. Fourth practice is tapaha, austerity. Tapasya, it's a very important word in Hinduism. Some kind of difficulty, pain, where you consciously take upon yourself. For example, fasting. It's difficult, but you take it upon yourself. For example, I know the monks practice so many different kinds of austerities. I know this very senior monk who is our teacher in the monastery. And we discovered after 40 years of monastic life, he doesn't have a bed to sleep on. He used to sleep on a little mat on the floor. And finally, now he has a bed. The novices forced a bed into his room above his protests. So that's an austerity, a tapa. Regular fasting, Ekadashi, once in a fortnight, fasting is common among many Hindus. So different kinds of, are putting up with a little bit of variation in temperature. See, adjusting the temperature to exactly what I'm comfortable in, always not a good idea. Put up with a little bit of heat. Put up with a little bit of cold. Not so much that you fall ill, but enough that it's unpleasant and you're consciously, deliberately putting up with it. If you go to Kumbh Mela in the gatherings of the Hindus, when millions and millions of Hindus come for the sacred occasions, you will see many sadhus practicing widely different kinds of austerities. Someone has not, who never sleeps. So that means doesn't go prone and sleep. So the only time when he takes a rest is there's a wooden plank on which he leans back. So has never sat down actually for 20 years or 30 years. Somebody who hasn't cut his nails for 40 years and so on. So all sorts of weird austerities. That's why the Buddha said, and I'm sure such characters were there all throughout the history of India. So the Buddha said, the middle path, neither this way nor that way. Even the middle path can be taken literally. I know this monk of our order, there's a very funny story about him. His name was Gunatitananda Maharaj. So once he was walking in the road, it's a very busy road outside the monastery, and he got knocked down by an auto. You know, it's like a three-wheeler in India. He got knocked down. And so they carried him into the monastery and they asked him, Swami, what were you thinking? He said, no, the Buddha has said the middle path, so I was walking in the middle of the road, exactly. That is something you should not do anywhere, whether in Calcutta or in Manhattan. That's not what it means. But austerity is a means, it has been widely recognized in India for centuries and millennia. It's a means of gathering power. It definitely gives you mental strength. Then the last one is Ishvara Pranidhana, worship of God. Whatever practice you take up, meditation or whatever, some adoration of God in whatever form appeals to you, whatever is your tradition. Could be Rama or Krishna or Christ, in whatever tradition you're. A little bit of adoration of God daily. It's a very important practice. You ignore it at your own risk. So these 5 practices are the traditional meaning of Neama. Neama literally means in Indian languages rules, prescriptions. Maintain purity, these are the do's. Maintain purity, maintain contentment, maintain regular study of the scriptures, maintain austerity, some kind of discipline, physical discipline. Vow of silence, though that's there later on, so I'm not mentioning that now. That's another kind of austerity. I shall not speak. It's an austerity for you, but it's a blessing for others. And then the worship of God. So these are the do's. Please do these. What does Shankaracharya say? What is the non-dual approach to Neama? Something very different again, as you might expect. The constant maintenance of this idea, of this understanding, hold on to it. I am Brahman. And the other idea that I am the body, I am this mind. Carefully give up that. Sajatiya vritti pravaha. Sajatiya means of the same type, of the same class. I am Brahman. You need not chant it like a mantra. I am Brahman, I am Brahman, I am Brahman. No. You might say, I am unattached. I am light. I am bliss. I am all. Whatever it is, hold on to that. If it is not here, if it is somewhere else, it's not Brahman. If it is not now, if it is some time else, in the past or the future, it's not Brahman. If it is something else other than you, it's not Brahman. What is Brahman? It must be here, it must be now, it must be you. Center yourself in that thought. So this kind of continuously centering yourself in Brahman and carefully doing away with that other thing, it takes a lot of work actually if you try to do that. But every moment is a moment to practice. This is the beauty about Vedantic meditation. You can practice at every moment. You can do it now. You can do it as you're walking out of the Vedanta society. You can do it in the subway. You can do it at home. You can do it after when you go to sleep. You can do it the moment you wake up. What am I? A suitable Vedantic thought. Take it up and hold on to that. He says, Parananda, this is the highest bliss. Because often the reaction is, okay, so this is a Vedantic meditation. How long do I have to do this? You never ask, how long do I have to do to, you never ask, so I have to sleep every night. So how long do I practice that? No. As long as you're living, you sleep every night. It's comfortable. It's nice to go to sleep. It's nice to eat when you're hungry. All the nice things that in life, you never ask, how long do I have to do it? Often you think that it's a difficult task. No. If one gets a clarity about what one is, then centering yourself again and again in that is productive of the greatest bliss, is productive of the greatest freedom, great relief. A huge burden is off your shoulder when you say, I am the witness self, I am pure consciousness. Think about it this way. Your real nature, which is pure, you don't have to make it pure. Purity is natural to you. Impurity is superimposed on you. It's imposed upon you. Peace is natural to you. You are by nature peaceful. Restlessness is it's incidental, accidental. It comes. Guilt, shame, disgust, anxiety, desire, lust, none of them are natural to us. What he is saying is, our true nature as the blissful Brahman, as Brahman, as infinity, as consciousness, as bliss, as existence, praptasya prapti, it is already there. All you need to do is recognize it. In Hindi they say swikar karna, is accept it, is recognize it, is claim it. It's there. I claim it. Look at the difference in philosophy. What would the yogi have you do? I am sinful. I must purify myself. I am restless. I must calm the mind down. I tend to think about the world. I must think about God. I tend to read trash and watch trash on the internet and watch TV ceaselessly, a couch potato. No, I need to read spiritual texts, swadhyaya. So I have trash in the mind. I need to clean my mind. That's the yogic approach. The Vedantic, the non-dual approach is, no, you are peaceful, you are blissful, you are pure right now without any effort. All you need to do, but you need to do something. What you need to do is recognize it, claim it. I am this. See yourself as that. You say, Swami, you're confusing me. Are you saying that anger and restlessness and anxiety and shame and guilt are not there? I am not saying that, careful. What I am saying is two things. They are, first of all, they come and go. Before restlessness came, you were there. When the mind is restless, you are there. When restlessness goes away, you are still there. That which you were there before its birth, you were there during its existence, you were there when it died and went out, then how can that thing be you? It cannot be you. It has to be something different from you. It came and went. You say, yeah, but it's not me, but it's mine, right? My restlessness. No, how can it be yours? When it came without your wanting it, it stayed without your wanting it, and it left without your, when you were relieved when it left. But you cannot hold on to it. Whether it is restlessness or guilt or shame or anger, nothing, impurity, none of them you can hold on to. They come and go. The Vedantic approach is, oh, they are coming. Welcome. Namaste. Come. You're going to stay. Very good. Make yourself at home. I'm untouched. You have nothing to do with me. You're going. Goodbye. Farewell. Nothing to do with me. I am existence, consciousness, bliss. That's one thing I'm saying. They come, they stay, they go. One. You are not touched by it. Second thing I'm saying is, where do they come and stay and go? Not in you, in the mind. Lust and anger and greed and anxiety and terror and shame and guilt and impurity, all of them come and stay and go in the mind. You are not the mind. You're not the mind. One more thing. There's a principle. Adavante yannasti vartamanapi tattatha from the Mandukya Upanishad. Powerful insight. That which was not in the beginning and will not be in the end is not right now. I'll repeat it. That which did not exist in the beginning, that will not exist in the end, does not exist now. No restlessness earlier. After some time, no restlessness. When there is restlessness right now in the mind, it's not there. It appears like that. How? When you see your face in the mirror, there was no face in the mirror earlier. Later on, there will be no face in the mirror. Right now? Right now? Right now, there is no face in the mirror. It's a reflection. Is there really a face there? No, the face is here. There's no face there in the mirror. It's a reflection. It looks like that. So these are appearances in the mind. They have nothing to do with you. Steady yourself in your purity, in your peaceful Brahman nature. Then the remarkable thing will happen. The mind will also slowly become peaceful and pure and calm and free of guilt and shame and all your activities. You will be transformed into a saint without your knowing it. Affirm your nature as Brahman. That's what he's saying. All the practices which the yogi struggles with, internal purity and external internal purity and austerity and scriptural study and worship of God and contentment, all of them, if you see, if you maintain this, I am the ever pure, ever calm, peaceful Brahman, blissful Brahman, all of these things will naturally manifest in your mind. Even then you are not attached to it. Let them manifest. You're not attached to it. So he says, Neama. Niyamat kriyate budhe. There's a slight pun on this word. So the wise do it as a rule. They practice this consistently. I stabilize myself in my Satchidananda nature. Chidananda Rupaha Shivoham Shivoham. I am Shiva, I am Shiva. I am the nature of bliss. I am the nature of pure consciousness. Not as a positive affirmation, as a fact. If you look at the teachings which we went through, they clearly show you again and again and again. No time now, but we will continue next time. You stabilize yourself in the reality and the rest will come of itself. This is the Vedantic understanding of Neama. Yama, Niyama. You might say, I'll end with this, they seem suspiciously same. They're similar. Didn't Shankaracharya say the same thing in Yama and in Niyama? There's a difference. In one sense, yes, it's same. All the 15 are the same. He'll just tell you, stabilize yourself as Brahman. After all, it's meant to stabilize you in the Brahman knowledge. But there's a difference. What's the difference? Yama was controlling the vrittis, that means which flow outwards into the world. I want to taste this. I want to see that. I want to punch this guy. All of these vrittis which are flowing outwards, control the sense organs and the motor organs by the knowledge that you are Brahman. The world is an appearance and you're Brahman. So self-control based on the reality of your Brahman nature. That's yama. Niyama is continuous affirmation of your Brahman nature and cutting down of the wrong identification with body and mind. So in niyama you are doing something. The original sense in the yogic do's and don'ts has been preserved here. Rather, in the first one, yama, the don'ts are based on the knowledge that you are peaceful Brahman. You are Brahman, peace itself. So there is no need to go out, beg for pleasure from the world, or be scared of, the world. And in niyama, they are do's. But what is the do? The do is do hold on to, do stabilize in yourself in your Brahman nature all the time. Every moment is an opportunity for you to see that I am awareness, consciousness. I am consciousness, existence, bliss. Not body-mind. This not body-mind is vijatiya. That means the not Brahman kind of identification. Drop it. I am existence, consciousness, bliss, which is sajatiya, the Brahman identification. Stabilize yourself in it. So this is the subtle difference between yama and niyama from the non-dualistic point of view. Other practices, next time. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ram Krishna Arpanam Astu.